Okay, I am really impressed with the picture quality on this thing right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, TKK. Listen, we are looking at the all-new Samsung Neo G8 32-inch 4K at 240 hertz monitor. This is a mini LED panel. This thing looks great. I have just infused it with a connection to my gaming PC. Man, look, this picture quality is marvelous. So within this video, I want to have some fine talking points, and I want to be able to talk to you guys and steer you through what I am experiencing firsthand. We're going to do that right after this intro. Welcome back to the channel. Guys, I always wanted to say this, but rate my setup. I mean, just let's take a minute and look at it. We've got a beautiful setup here. I hate that this monitor doesn't have any white aesthetic on the front. It's all in the back, but you know, I love the way that this contrasts with the rest of my theme, right? I've got the Corsair K100 keyboard. I've got an inexpensive Corsair mouse that's pretty much docked into the keyboard. We've got the Logitech G series gaming speakers. I've got my Stormtrooper there on the left holding my Xbox controller. We've got this beautiful monitor that we're going to be talking about in a second. And then we've got this massive gaming PC. And to tie it all in, I've got my beautiful Ryu arcade stick. I featured this stick in the lot of arcade sticks that I picked up. If you guys are new to who I am TKK, stands for the King Kindred. Used to play Street Fighter at a very high competitive level. And so here we are at All About TKK. We're talking about technology, cars, and everything else. But this monitor is amazing, guys. Like, the picture quality of this is just so darn good. And just so you guys know, we got the Samsung S95B back downstairs. So you know what that means, right? That means in the future, we're going to have some comparisons. Yes, we are going to compare the G8 with the Alpha 90K at some point, but we definitely got to compare this thing to the S95B. Let's get right into it. Okay, so all jokes aside, let's get to some fine talking points. I have this thing running in a native 4K 3840 by 2160 at 240 hertz. This is not an overclockable refresh rate. This is out of the box. It has the ability to do that. You're either going to set it on 120 or you're going to set this thing on 240. There is also a Neo G7. I would recommend the G7 to a lot of people. Very similar, has a mini LED backlit system. It does feature 165 hertz refresh rate. I cannot verify if that's overclock or not. I have seen some people on Reddit talking about them being able to achieve 200 hertz at an overclock. But one of the things that I have noticed that separates this particular model, the G8 versus the G7, is the coating that's on the screen here. The blacks on this look phenomenal. And I noticed that. Now, after I did some research, I wasn't willing to buy a G7 also. I try not to buy my stuff to return it. I try not to buy my stuff just to review it. I buy what I like, buy what I research. So in doing some research on the G7, I've seen that the blacks fall short. They don't look as clean. This thing has near OLED black levels. I'm talking about it's really, really good. Now, like all with most LED panels, you're going to see some blooming. I've seen it on the highest end Sony options. I've seen it on highest end Samsung options, and the monitor does not fall short of that either. So this being a curved monitor, 32-inch massive, you sitting in the sweet spot is where you are designed to sit. If this is a monitor that you're thinking about getting for you and your best friend to play fighting games or things like that, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't recommend it. I just think that this is really a panel that you invest in. If number one, you can afford it. Number two, you understand what the technology is. This is something that you buy into for future purposes. 4K at 240 hertz is not the reason that you buy this exclusively. You buy this, number one, because it does 4K. Number two, because the HDR is pretty damn immersive. It's really a bright monitor and it has some pretty deep black. So quality of content is definitely there, okay? Number three, the refresh rate being natively 240 hertz means that you can go to 1080p for your esports title, your League of Legends, your WoW, your Dotas, all of those type of games, Siege, Valorant, Overwatch, all of these games that can achieve that really, really high refresh rate, you can do that. You can also skip and go into the middle. QHD is still a very viable resolution. It's amazing. And so for the people that have the really strong systems that are not focused on 4K, getting the most graphical fidelity, you can go into the middle and you can still achieve that high refresh rate, guys. You can still get that 240 hertz. If you're like me and you're rocking that RTX 3090 Ti, I got the RTX 3090 2 times, or if you're rocking that 3070 Ti, that 3080, that 3080 Ti, you guys have an option to be able to do that with this thing. Outside of that, input latency is really low on this thing. I've already practiced a lot of fighting games, and we know that doing combos like one frame links are all muscle memory. Jumping from this to other TVs that I've reviewed and that I own and I've shown on the channel, I was able to jump right into this and do pretty much every dang on thing that I needed to do. So this is great. Without further ado, what I want to do is go ahead and run a couple of games and I'll continue my talking points while they're playing. All right, this is PC God of War. Now I'm going to use this because I just used this. I've used this on pretty much every TV. Let me admit that. But it's because I just love the look of the forest. You know, when I soft calibrate my TVs before I get them professionally done, I do just kind of throw a warm 2 in there. Looks cinematic. This monitor, I do have a preset of cinematic on it, right? The input latency I have set to low. I've got the refresh rate turned up high. And so, you know, I'm really loving the way that this looks. So with God of War, I love just the way the forest and everything just kind of ties in. So we're going to go mess around with a couple of different settings, right? Played around with the settings. So one really cool feature that this monitor has is this can do ultra wide. Now this is so amazing, guys. Listen, I do own a 38-inch LG monitor. I'll card in a video where I'll show that in my setup. Got it out in the garage. It was back when I did the 2 PCs in one case. That monitor, 3840 by 1600. This is actually 3840 by 1646. So a little bit more tighter than that. And this thing looks really good, man. Like really, really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this sequence just so I can take a look at that. So for this segment of the video, man, I want to run this in ultra wide, and this is just really, really good that you can just do this at the flip of a switch within the actual game. All you're doing is just going and you're changing the aspect ratio. This thing can do 16 by 9, 16 by 10, and it can do 21 by 9. Man, this looks phenomenal. With ultra wide, you have the ability to see more on the screen. Obviously, we know that you can do custom resolutions with any of the OLED TVs, and we know that now the TVs come with the default preset. The problem is default, you're gonna have a lower resolution. This is really nice and tight. I'm talking about this looks really, really good. Let's get this tree cut down. Dang, this looks so good. I'm excited. I wish my camera could produce a higher frame rate. I'm gonna make an investment in a better camera going forward, but Sony ZV-1's got me through right now. Dang, I'm so excited. Like, this is just amazing. Dude, I can see more on the screen. Ultra wide is just so nice. With the 32-inch, man, it's real cool. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm sitting here and this monitor is just, listen, this looks purely and truly cinematic. Like the ultra wide on this is phenomenal. Like, forget about the whole 240 hertz. This looks so good. And I think it has a lot to do with the resolution. 3840 by 1646. I'm gonna have to see if that's possible on my S95B. Because if it is, then look, man, this thing looks fantastic.
That is enough.
And the picture quality, my God. Like the black here, oh my goodness.
Father?
Wow, this looks really good, man.
The forest feels different now.
Everything is different, boy. Try not to dwell on it.
I'm talking about guys.
Yes, sir.
I just see the little bit of ray of light hitting here. It's just, this looks really good. Like even as we go into this part being dark here, I can still see this. This looks like it's just really shaded. I should not be feeling this way looking at this monitor. Wow, wait a minute. Let me turn this light off. This detail is just, man. Oh my goodness. I didn't think I'd do this portion of the video this long with ultra wide, but man, this is like, I mean, this is a whole vibe in itself. You know, guys, I've had a lot of ultra wide monitors, man. You know, I think the best one on the market is the 38-inch from LG. It's got an actual G-Sync module in it. It goes for about $1,800. It's 38-inch, 3840 by 1600. But man, let me tell you, this right here, this gets it for you. This does it. This has got to be the best monitor out right now. I mean, this has to be it. Let me tell you, like, Mike, this preset is really good because it's not like, it's not that traditional Samsung pop you think, but there is pop there. Man. I've got to utilize this scene because I've seen it so much with all the reviews that I've done this year. I haven't noticed any crazy blooming, none. Like from the centerpiece, anything that you've seen on my viewfinder or from the camera, it's my camera exaggerating it. It looks really good.
There do I see my mother.
These colors. Just so you guys know, I just got off work, so I've been eagerly waiting to get some content on this.
Call to me. Oh, there do they call to me.
Man.
Oh, there do they call to me. Oh, there do they call to me.
The A90K doesn't have the level of brightness that this does. However, it's really nice, but man, there's that scene right there. I will say no TV or panel that I've seen this year has done that scene really bad.
She's ready.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I gotta rock this out. Light it up. I've got to get this next to the S95B. You guys let me know if you want to see that video. Do we need to do a comparison of this? Because right now, I'm going to be honest, I am eagerly wanting to see the S95B again. It's been a minute since I put some actual gameplay on that TV. The last time I did it was a couple of weeks ago when I did the Xbox app on it. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys think.
I'm sorry.
All right, guys, the shoot is going to be kind of light tonight. I do have to make sure I get some rest. I got to be responsible with creating the content. So yeah, tomorrow, let me know what you guys want to see in the comments. Let me know if we need to see. I'm going to make more content about this. I did not plan on getting hung up on the ultra wide part of it. I didn't. It's just that I was going through the darn settings of the game, and I'm like, well, let me see, because I played earlier. I actually shot content that I intended to render and upload before I had went to work, and it was with Tomb Raider. I was doing 16 by 10, and that was looking pretty sweet. You know, when I was at work, I was thinking about the content I shot. I'm like, nah, man, I'm gonna redo it again so it can be fresh. And so, yeah, I got enough content shot from earlier where I could make a whole nother video about this, but then some of the stuff would be like I'm duplicating it. I'm glad I did this tonight because my excitement was for real, because this thing looks great. But if you want to see specific games or something like that, or you got some questions, let me know. Like I said, the G7 is a viable option for most of you guys. If you're interested, not wanting to really splurge the $1,500 retail or the $1,300 sale price that this has, the G7 does look like it's a couple $100 less. It does 4K also. It is mini LED also. Make sure that when you guys are looking for these monitors, if you're looking for them, you're looking for the Neo, not the G7 or G8, but specifically the Neo. That is what distinguishes these 2022 models. But this does have the 240 hertz. My panel doesn't have any stuttering, juddering, or scan line issues or nothing. I've seen some problems people have had. Also, this panel over the G7 Neo does have like this different kind of coating that really helps a lot with the black levels. Like the blacks on this look like OLED black. I'm not even kidding. So let me know in the comment section if you guys are thirsty for the S95B content. I'm excited. Got it back in the game room. Going to be making more content around it. So it'll be a Samsung versus Samsung. Then I'll be doing some of this versus the A90K. But I'm going to tell you, I love the way the A90K look. You guys know that yesterday that was the video. But after seeing this, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I am sick and tired of great technology coming out. Like, I don't like it when I see one panel and it's like, oh, this is amazing. Now I see another one. I'm like, what the? It's crazy, man. But I'm going to get me some rest after I get this content cut. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace. God bless. Max love.